Hi guys, welcome back to OC Avery and welcome back to the Natives in Norwich Zoom room. Now today we're joined by Mr. John O'Malley. John mainly keeps Siberian Bullfinches. He has a few other natives and he's also got quite a bit of experience with Irish native Bullfinches as well. So today he's going to talk to us about how he breeds both his Siberians and his Irish Bullfinches. Some tips for actually breeding the birds, such as supplements that he gives them, which actually worked quite well, which you're going to learn about a little later on. And he's also going to tell us about how he's got some of the first mutation Irish Bullfinches. Some very exciting ones indeed. So we'll get right into it. Hello and welcome back to the Natives in Norwich Zoom room. Now today we are joined by Mr. John O'Malley. So thank you for joining us, John. Now, John, you specialise in Siberian Bullfinches. So would you just quickly introduce yourself, tell us a bit about the birds you actually keep?
I breed Siberian Bullfinches for the last 15 years. I bred Irish Bullfinches the last 20 years. But the Siberians, there's lots of colours in them. And you can have two normal looking bullfinches, but they could be split for white and pastel. So you can get three different colours into one nest. So it's like, this is the exciting part about it. You go out and there's a little blue fella and there's a black fella and there's a kind of a grey lad, which could be a pastel.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting in that sense.
Oh, brilliant. Now, so what sort of began for you breeding bullfinches?
I like the way they sing, and also the hens sing.
Yeah.
It's a kind of like a flute music,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not as loud as I bred loads of canaries of every different description since I was 7 or 8 years old. But bullfinches, I decided I go and specialize in.
Got you. Yeah, so you like the sort of the whistle sound from the bullies, which is one of the main attractions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
excellent. Now,
Just the color.
sorry, what was that?
Just the color and the brown
Oh,
pastels.
yeah. Oh, excellent. Now, so what colour bullfinches do you have at the moment then?
Well, I have brown pastels. I have whites. I have yellows. And I have normal looking, wild looking birds that are split for pastel and white, split for yellow and white and pastel. The males will be.
Yeah.
Whereas a friend of mine in Belgium 5 years ago told me that the hens can actually carry two colours, whereas the males can actually carry three colours.
Oh, right.
And
Wow.
if the hen isn't split for the colour or one of the colours that the male has, it doesn't come out because it's a recessive gene.
Yes. Oh,
It's
brilliant.
not a dominant gene.
Yeah. So, so pastel in bullfinches is sex linked, I believe, isn't it?
It is. You can have the same as cinnamon.
Yes. And then
But
what?
pastel is like when they're born, it's a blue chick in the nest
Yeah.
to all intents and purposes. And then when it molts out after 6 weeks, it's got lighter brown wings, it's got a lighter tail, it's got lighter mandibles and lighter feet.
Oh, right. Oh, brilliant. I managed to produce some. Well, I have a cockbird split for pastel. However, I'm yet to get any pastels on the sticks. So what about yellow then? How does that work?
Well, I got a pair of normals off Mark Levine in Belgium about 6 years ago.
Right.
And it was from pure whites and from pure yellows, bred to pure whites.
Oh, right.
And the first year I only got three chicks from five nests. And she hatched out five chicks in every nest. And there were three males, normal. So the next year I got two yellows, males, one white male, three brown pastel hens, one normal cock and one normal hen. I got eight chicks off for the second year. And I didn't take any more because I was after running her to the end the first year.
Yeah.
I needed her for another year. If you want a bird to breed, I have one hen there now, and she's a white hen I bred myself and bred the grandparents. And she's just reared 40 chicks for me. And this is her fourth year.
Wow.
Now, I'm putting 6 eggs under her tomorrow. I take out 5 eggs, and on day 6, I put back the eggs. Now, she's had a few different males, but the male I have with her now is a Pastel.
Got you.
And she's had 3 chicks. There's one white in it, and there's 2 normal looking birds. But I won't let her go again, and I'll save her for next year. As all I wanted was 2 or 3 chicks out of her this year, because she's already given me 37 chicks.
Wow. That's
Never
quite
sick
a
in a
return.
day. I know it's great to have a bird like that, but you have to mind them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Three nests a year in May, June, and July. And once the 15th of July comes, this year now it'll be the 21st, all eggs out, thrown out. Save them for next year.
got you. Fair enough. So it's about trying to pace them, not wear them out too much in one season that they're just going to
Yes,
damage.
what a lot of people don't understand about bullfinches is they're egg laying machines.
Yes.
They'll go 5 times and lay 6 eggs every time. So
Yeah.
the one thing you don't want to do is feed them egg food.
Oh right.
Or the
Okay.
hens will just go ahead and lay eggs, lay eggs, lay eggs. I know a man bought 6 pair one year, and he put 70 eggs under canaries, and they were all blank. He fed them egg food and
Oh
wanted
wow.
them to go early. And he was a man that was in canaries all his life. You can't treat them like canaries. What I
Yeah.
do is, in January, I clean my birds out. Now I use Parastop. It's for pigeons. It's for coccidiosis and E. coli. So I clean them out for 10 days. Then at the end of February, I put a teaspoonful of conditioning seed in the seed once a week. And near the
Right.
end of February, I do it twice a week, every 3 days.
Oh, brilliant.
And that's
Wow.
the conditioning. I rather them come on slowly.
Yeah. So like building them up over time.
Yeah, now I don't feed them broccoli, I don't feed them this, I don't feed them that. I just feed them conditioning seed. And come twice a week, February, and then in April, by the 3rd week in April, you might start getting eggs. By around the 10th of May, you usually have youngsters. Now, I've paired them up before Christmas. It made no difference. They still
Right.
go down the same time,
Yeah.
or come into June the same time. This year, they were about 3 weeks late. We've had extreme cold temperatures here.
Yeah.
Last week, one night, it was 5 degrees.
Wow. Quite fluctuation then from so what it's been recently. So with your breeding bullfinches then, what's your sort of preferred go-to method? Would you rather cage breed, or do you always look to the flights?
Well, I've always used the flights because they have vertical lift off and they have to fly 6 feet to the perch. And I've never had the gapes or anything like that.
Oh
I
right.
use, I don't use a whole lot of meds. The only medication I really have is the Parastop.
Yeah.
And after that, I give them apple cider vinegar once a week, clean them out.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant! Wow.
So they
So,
get,
yeah, so
in the flights, I have
yeah,
one perch, one nest box, or one nest pan in a nest box in case the youngsters fall out, and it's 4 feet off the ground, where I can look into it. I don't have to open the door of dairy. I can look in and see what's happening. I can say there's an egg in there. There's something wrong in that nest. All the little chicks having their heads together like that. They're all over the place, so there's something wrong.
yeah. Oh, wow, that's brilliant. So, what sort of dimensions are your flights then?
Well, basically 3 feet by 2.5 feet deep, and 7.5 feet high.
Oh, brilliant! So actually, the birds are really getting fit from the flight up, more
Yes,
than
vertical
side
lift
to side.
off. I have, when they have chicks, one of these little containers in the bottom of the floor, and the egg food and peas I keep separate because they're a frozen product.
Yeah.
And when they have to come to feed the chicks, they have to fly down there, up onto the perch, and then back down onto the. So they're actually going 6 and 2, at least 8 feet, just before they can feed the chicks.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's a great idea. So actually keeping them fit that whole time, and yeah, obviously the results work. All your methods and so forth.
The little tray,
yeah.
the little tray I use with the little round oblong dishes in it. A lot of the pea shells can go smelly in that, so it helps to keep the bottom of the floor very clean. Just take it out, put another one in the next day.
Yeah.
You get them out of the butcher shop, they're free to get the chicken in it and all that, just easy to wash out.
Yeah.
And keep it good. And the other thing about it when you're breeding them, the perches, when the birds come out and they have to get rid of the droppings, some pairs will put them on the perches, very messy. You nearly have to change the perch every day or every second day. And more other hens will put it in the seed trays. So you just clean out the seed trays every day.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Of the droppings.
Yeah, well, that makes it so easy as well, doesn't it? All about making, keeping it clean. So
yeah,
actually,
one perch, Ollie, in the aviary, the droppings are actually down below it. It simplifies the whole thing of cleaning out. There's not perches all over the place.
Wow. So actually quite simple, but really effective then. Wow.
Yes.
That's a really good idea actually. I've considered that and then thinking, well, will I be able to keep the birds fit? But actually, like you've said, is keeping all the food and everything down low. They have to go up to the perch, and it's keeping them fit. Actually, the vertical takeoff. So, yeah, what a brilliant idea. So with your nest sites then, what sort of style are you using? Are you using like open top, chapel, canary nest pan? What's your go-to?
Well, I had borders, so I'm using border nest pans. Now I have a flat-headed screw that it's held into the box with. So when the bully lands on it, it will vibrate a little bit, and that wakes the chicks up.
Oh, right.
I find it very effective.
Oh, brilliant. So do you just leave that as a normal nest pan, or do you put like a liner in it, like a cocoa liner or felt or anything?
Yes, I do. I put double liners in them because young chicks will die of the cold. It's one thing you have to do right. I have frost heaters in the areas, but 250-watt frost heater, it won't do a whole lot,
Yeah.
It just takes the chill out of the water.
All right, got you. So with those nest liners, do you use any products for sort of mite prevention? Do you cover them with anything?
I do. I just use for sand, which is a white powder for mite.
Okay,
and then I tie them in with 2 cable ties, small cable ties, and I use coconut fiber and the normal Hessian mix.
Yeah. Oh, nice one. So
and some bullies won't make it. Sorry, Ollie. Some bullies won't make a nest.
Oh, right.
Some of them are very, very minimal in what they want for a nest.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, my bullfinches, they do like to construct quite a large nest, but yeah, I mean, if they're not making a nest like that and they're happy with it, then even better, isn't it? So what sort of nest material do you offer then?
Just the coconut fiber along with the sisal, with the cotton in it.
Yeah.
That you use for normal canaries.
Right.
Now sometimes you'll get a hen and she'll want to lay in the tray that you have the seed tray in. So when she starts that racket, you put the seed tray 3 or 4 inches off the ground, and you tie in a normal canary nest with the pads in it onto the wire where the seed tray is.
Yeah.
She can build a nest there. You can still open the door and close the door. She won't mind you when she's sitting on eggs.
Oh, brilliant.
I've had one really contrary hen like that.
Oh wow. Well, that's amazing actually. I've seen
And
a few different things where people have had bullies nest on the floor. I've
yeah,
seen like seed pot nests as well. So
yeah,
yeah, that's a good idea actually, replacing the
the
seed
D
pot. And
the D-shaped drinkers as well that want to nest in that. That
yeah.
one's good. And if they do, I went out one day this year and I had one of the hens and it says I put new evergreens around the box. Sometimes I staple them on and sometimes I just put them in the hole in the box. But when I went to freshen it up, she already had a nest in the corner of the box
Oh
and one
right.
egg laid.
Wow. Unreal. Oh
So
wow.
is,
Um.
is all I did was put a bit more padding on that
Yeah.
and left her at. And she reared 4 chicks
Fantastic.
without using the nest pan at all.
Yeah. That's amazing. To be fair, I mean, considering if we compare them to native bullies, I think that's quite unlikely a native bully would do that. So these are, well, I guess the in nesting habits and how picky they are, it's very similar to a canary. Um, just nesting anywhere. So, what do you feed your bullfinches then? Is there a particular like brand of seed that is your go-to for them?
I feed them a Belgian brand, uh, and there's 19 different seeds in it. It's one of the top class brands that's used all over Belgium.
Yeah.
Uh, Van Camp, Alan Dempsey does it down in Dempsey's Pet Supplies in Kilmesson.
Oh right.
It's a real good quality seed.
Yeah.
It's got everything in it.
Nice one. Now, um, so I've seen that some bully breeders, and actually the wild bullies as well, that they are quite keen on fruit. So you might go for rowan berries or apple. Do you offer anything like this to them?
Well, the rowan berries are in this mix. There's
Oh
also
yeah,
rose hips, uh, piccolo. There's all sorts of seeds in this mix. I do put in a half an apple, especially before chicks hatch, because if you miss when the chicks hatch, bullies will rear their chicks on apple and peas alone. CD egg food is what I use as well,
yeah,
but I try and keep it simple. I put CD egg food in. I have a 3 seed mix I use: hemp, niger, and white perilla in equal parts. So I've used the red scoop for your porridge,
yeah,
one of this 3 seed mix, and then I shake a probiotic on it. And then I
right,
put the peas after boiling them up. You pour boiling water on them, leave them for 3 or 4 minutes. I still put the probiotic on that as well. It keeps their guts right. It keeps the droppings tight, so you don't have messy and sloppy hens or sweaty hens, as they call them.
yeah.
You're well able to deal with the little packages of poop.
Yeah, got you. Now, so with your egg food, then is that literally just the basic dry egg food, or do you add anything else to that?
No, that's basic CD egg food.
Got you. Now, so what about live food? Is there any? Do you find that like to be something that it goes all right with, or are you not bothered with feeding egg food? Sorry, live food to them.
Well, live food like mealworms, I can buy 2 or 3 little packets in a year.
Yeah.
And for the first 2 days, I will give half a dozen, say, to a hen. But
Right.
there's a good few of my hens won't even eat the mealworms. But when I get the mealworms, I put the egg food on it and I leave it for a week before I offer it. And then I put a banana skin in, so they're getting flavored uh, banana mealworms.
Oh, brilliant. So and they I presume that they take to that quite readily then.
They do, but another thing I found when I was in Australia was raspberries.
Right.
And we used to put raspberry cordial into the water for the canaries, uh, 20%. So 1 part of raspberry cordial, 4 parts of water. And this was done 6 weeks before they were due to hatch and go and lay eggs and all that. And he actually, an old man there told me it keeps them 100% fertile, 100% not sick.
Oh,
There's some chemical in raspberries, and it will kill candida in a human's guts, large intestines, and small and 10 times within an hour and a half.
Wow. So
it's a chemical market that's just in raspberries alone.
yeah.
Now I buy the raspberries in Lidl, and I just, especially in a hot day like today, it's like giving them lollipops. They dig into them straight away.
Oh,
so coming up to the breeding season, they get raspberries twice a week, every 3 days. And during the breeding season, they get raspberries, one raspberry for a pair, even with youngsters, every second day.
Wow.
And they gobble them up. Now there's apple there all the time.
Yeah, so did you say you put raspberry cordial in the water as well, and that seems to make them fertile?
Well, I used to do that in Australia. That's where I learned the trick.
Ah, right,
okay. Now I just give the bullies raspberries direct. They can make their own cordial.
Okay, got you. Well, that's a great idea, and that's definitely something I want to be adopting. And you know, something like that. What a great idea! Thank you for sharing. So you've already covered sort of what you use when rearing. So that's egg food. You've got your mix of 3 seeds,
and peas.
And peas. Right. Okay. So it's just those sort of 4 things. Is your rearing food for them? Excellent.
Absolutely.
Do you ever? Sorry. Yeah.
When I take them away with the dad at around 22 days, 21 days, you have to watch male bullfinches. They can beat up the kids, and watch if they get a little mark across the top of the beak. But most of mine are quite good. I stop all that high protein going into the hen once she's laying. Once I set her on 6 eggs, bang, that stops. The youngsters come out, the male comes out, he's put in a separate aviary. By 25 days, they should be feeding themselves. Within 30 days, he can be taken away from them, and he can be put back in with the lady.
Ah, okay. So you actually remove the bully cock with the youngsters to carry on feeding while the hen sort of rests and begins to rebuild?
Yeah, if you leave this protein going in, she'll sit for about 8 days off the nest, and she'll lay another 6 eggs and hatch nothing for you.
Wow.
So you've got to stop that high protein going in there.
Got you. Wow, that I did not know that.
Now sometimes at the beginning, Oliver, I can actually scramble an egg for 1 minute and 10 in the microwave with a teaspoonful of water in it and mix it with the egg food. But I'll only do that for 3 days.
Right.
Just when the young chicks are after hatching. I won't do it any longer than 3 days. Put an extra bit of protein in.
Yeah. Oh, got you. Wow. I'm gonna have to try that as well. So that's actually just a scrambled egg in with your egg food and a boost in protein.
Yes, a microwave egg. Yeah.
Got you. So colour feeding bullfinches. Do you colour feed your bullies?
No. Not as such.
Right.
Now I can explain that one. The yellows, you can get nasturtium flowers, yellow ones, and put them and elate them, and it really enhances the yellow color. And the orange ones, then they still get a lovely soft color. Pastels, you don't need the color feed at all because they have a magnificent color. But I was color feeding those nasturtium flowers there 2 or 3 years ago, and there was a tiny red center in the nasturtium flower, and my yellow bullfinches had blotches here of orange.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Now you can give them a bit of grated carrot if you want to, but only to the orange bullfinches, not to yellow bullfinches.
Got you. So you always sort of look to nature for a colour feed rather than such as Carafill or
Yeah,
Canthaxin. Yeah,
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
And wow, that's great to be honest. And I imagine yeah, not pumping colour feed into them probably does the live as good as well. So yeah,
Well,
win-win.
I know a very successful border breeder that gave me that tip, and he had yellow borders to dye for the color of them, like,
Oh,
and it
brilliant.
was the nasturtium flowers he was feeding them.
Yeah. Oh, nice one. So you're at the end of the season. The birds have molted out. So then it's now probably time that you look what's staying and what's moving on. So what do you look for in a quality bird to keep and breed from?
I keep the most intensive cocks with the best color. It doesn't matter about the size of them. And of course, if you keep the big hens, they're going to be buff.
Yeah.
So it's a simple and easy method of sorting out your birds. And I keep good feeders. Now, there is one little thing. The hen actually dictates on how many males are in the young and how many females are in the young. And I gave away beautiful birds that I should have kept. And this particular old hen I have, that's on her fourth breeding season, she throws mainly males. In
Right.
17 chicks, she could throw 3 hens.
Oh
And
wow.
the first year I crossed her with a yellow uh, male, and she had 7 chicks, and there was 2 hens. And I kept one of those hens because she was split for white and yellow, and I put a yellow cock to her the next year, and I bred my first yellow white.
Oh right. Wow.
So it can be a two or 3 year process. Most
Yeah.
lads were going out and buying them. At the time, they were around 1,500. And I said, sure, there's no point in just going out and buying a bird. You have to try and have some aim at getting it yourself.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. So actually, that's so the hen completely sort of controls whether they're male or female. Then is that just like naturally before they hatch, or is it sort of selection where she will prefer the males and feed the males over the females?
Well, she has that gene that dictates that.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the cocks, they do have a couple of colours, all right, but the hen can have one colour. But in the sex line, she has that gene that
Right.
dictates how many young are going to be male and how many young are going to be female.
Oh, got you. Wow. That's something I didn't know. So thank you for sharing. So did you say you're looking for sort of intensive bully cocks? Doesn't matter on size, and you're looking for the largest of hens.
That's right, yeah.
Got
And
you.
they will be buff.
Yeah. So you're
With
always going yellow to
big,
buff.
yes, yellow to buff.
Got you. Brilliant. Um, wow. That's great, and I'm going to have to try all these. So, do you have you ever, or do you intend to ever try any bullfinch mules or hybrids?
I bred bullfinch,
Oh right.
Irish,
Oh brilliant.
on the first attempt.
Yeah. Oh nice one.
Just two young birds. That's simple.
Yeah. So did you say that was native Goldie and native
Yes,
Bully then?
yeah.
Wow. So is you got any intention of trying that with the northern birds then, or?
Uh, no, no. I've a couple of nice birds this year now that came from my brown pastels,
Right.
and there's 2 white in it. But one of them, I have him here. He's only 19 days old. He seems to have a brown on the back, and brown. He seems to be a brown white pastel.
Oh right.
And my friend in Belgium told me many years ago when I was at the World Show to put this white cock I was after buying off his friend that lived not too far away from him to a brown pastel hen because she's got no black in her. Now, for 3 years, I got pastels, just big blue hens and big blue cocks. I never got a white.
Oh, right.
So you have to keep going backwards and forwards with this.
Yeah.
And after 3 years now, this time I've got it.
Oh, nice one. Have you got that bird on hand to show us?
I have indeed. We'll have to wakey up, guys.
Oh,
There's
wow.
that's a male there,
Yep.
and that's a female, and that's a brown pastel at the bottom.
Fantastic. So they're all nestmates then?
Yeah, there is another one, but I just got three because there's enough of them there.
Oh, brilliant. They
you
look
know,
cracking.
They're 19 days old. Now they're only out of the nest.
Yeah.
And you can handle them at that stage because they're very tame.
Yeah.
I don't handle them too much.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
But I can tell that that's a male because he's coloured around the neck.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
he's coloured down around the cheeks.
Yeah.
And he
Wow,
actually
what
has.
a beautiful bird.
So they won't fly even at that stage. But you
Yeah.
have to mind them that they can damage their wings and that. But you know with the colour around the neck, whereas the hen, she's just plain white. There's no
Right.
black in them.
Oh, right,
So,
okay. Wow.
they're not
So-
pied.
No.
They're not pied.
Right. Oh, wow, I didn't know you could
Now, the
actually
other-
sex them from sort of that age. So yeah, that's definitely something new to me. So, and that's sorry, did you say white and then there's a brown pastel as well?
It's two pastels, yeah.
Right.
This bird has a brown pastel and white. Yeah, it's a white brown pastel.
Nice one. Brilliant.
But I have another trick, and it's a cinnamon cock. Now it normally goes and he'll throw cinnamon hens. So you get this round bum effect on the youngsters before they get feathers, and they're the hens. When you get a kind of a pointy bum effect, they're the males, or classified as males.
Yeah.
Now I have three here, cinnamon chicks, and sorry, they're 23 days old and 22 days old, and these lads are, no, they're 19. These are 23, but it's a brown, and you normally just breed cinnamon.
Got you.
The hen is a brown pastel,
Right.
and the cock is a brown pastel, but he's a cinnamon brown pastel.
Right.
So the two bigger ones will be hens, and the smaller lad in the middle, I'd say, could be a cock. I'll have to wait until it molts out.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, that means that I've got a crossover gene in that hen.
Oh, wow.
Now I got this before from a hen I got off my brother-in-law,
Yeah.
and she was throwing cinnamon cocks. I brought a cock in from Belgium, from Patrick Jacquin, and I only got 3 chicks off in the first year, and there were 3 cinnamon cocks.
Oh, right.
It dawned on me then afterwards. I was on heavy medication at the time, doing chemo, and just wasn't all there, as the fella says. But then it dawned on me that she had to be thrown,
Yeah.
because she's thrown it to the males. So it's most unusual. I've never had a brown pastel hen throw cinnamon cocks. They always throw brown pastel.
Yeah. So, well, in that case, surely wouldn't you? Surely the cockbird would carry something, wouldn't he? If it's
Yeah, well, it should be hens.
Yeah.
It should be hens.
Wow.
If it's sex linked. But if you get a crossover gene, it's actually in that man Walker's book, Coloured Canaries, which I actually purchased in '95. I was doing a bit of judging in Western Australia, where I was living at the time.
Right.
And he did all the different coloured canaries and all the different lip combs and all the different sex-linked scenarios.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Well, nice one.
It was in 1995. This was recommended to me as a textbook, sort of.
Yeah. Nice one. Now, So you've said you've kept Irish bullfinches then. What made you decide to go away from the Irish and go towards the Siberians?
The Irish keep dying on you. It's very hard to keep them alive
Right.
until I actually started using probiotics. And then about 7 years ago, I decided, well, I deal with a few rare feathered Irish bullfinches, and a friend of mine bred two that had white wings.
Oh,
And the
right.
previous year, I had a hen with a white feather in her tail and two brown feathers in her tail. So I kept crossing them anyway, and I kept getting one or two survivors each year, and ended up with 3 pair last year. 12th of May, 13th of May, 14th of May, all dead. Frost, frost, frost. Lost the 3 nests. So I said, never again in the outdoor. I have to control this where I can keep the temperatures a bit warmer.
Yeah.
So I brought them indoors, and I ended up with a brown pastel, a white topaz hen, and a white pied cock.
And these are Irish bullies.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, 100%. But it took 7 years just to get
Yeah.
that far.
Wow.
Now
That's
I've already had 4 chicks die in a nest on me this year
right.
from one of them. 2 nests destroyed by an Irish cock. When you have them in aviaries, it's not like cages. They eat one egg, lock them up, put them away. In aviaries, you have to catch the bird, take him out, put him in a cage in the bottom of the floor
Yeah.
if he's misbehaving. I even went in one day, and this cinnamon cock I had, that fed chicks when they were half an hour old last year, fabulous bird. I went in on day 13, and there was 2 shells on the floor, fully birded, 3 eggs left in the nest. I locked them up. These are the 3 cinnamon results of that.
Yeah.
Why he just tried 2 eggs on day 13, I don't know. I let him out on day 4, and he fed those youngsters to beat the band back to his normal self.
Yeah. So yeah, they can just snap like that, then, can't they? And
They lose it, yeah.
yeah. Wow. Bloody hell.
But this year has been problematic. I didn't lock up on any of my bullfinches last year. This year I locked up 5 of my Siberian bullfinches
Oh, right.
out of 10 pair,
Wow.
and birds that never gave me trouble before. Now, I kept a hen I shouldn't have kept. She was pure white, but she was off 2 yellows. She ate every egg in the house last year that she could lay.
Oh, gosh.
All my friends, get rid of her, get rid of her, get rid of her. And I said, no, I can't. Parents cost me 500. I'll keep her. So this year, blank eggs, the first nest. Next nest, she hatched out 3 chicks. There was one white one in it, it died. But she has reared 2, and they're on the ground now. And I'm going to put 6 more eggs under her tomorrow.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Oh, fingers crossed for you, mate. Wow.
I can trust her at this stage because she's with a 2-year-old cock,
Yeah.
or male, that's extremely good at feeding chicks.
Yeah.
And I always find if you can put an older hen with a young male, or a young hen with an old male, 2 or 3-year-old.
Right.
I have an Irish bullfinch now, and I bred him in 2018. His father had pure white wings, and he's the boy that's throwing all my white hens.
Oh, right.
So
Wow.
I had to bring in a few more Irish cocks to try and change the blood because there's too close a bloodline there.
Yeah.
And I was blaming this for them dying,
Right. Ah, okay. So, wow. So that's awesome. So
But it's funny, I have one hen that has kind of whitish, you'd say a rare feather. She's kind of whitish feathers in her wings.
yeah.
Everybody says, oh, that means nothing. But to me, I'm a Swiss trained watchmaker. So we were trained detail, 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 detail. And I can see every difference in the bird.
Yeah.
And then they have a cock, or a male, as you call them, with a little bit of white in the mantle and one white feather in this. So I put him to this hen. She raised 6 chicks in the first nest. 2 of them were white. And she's after hatching out 6 more yesterday, and 2 of them were white again.
Oh,
And they're
awesome.
Irish bullfinches.
Well, I can't wait to see the results from this year from you, mate, with them. Obviously, for Irish native bullies as well. I mean, I'm confident in believing you that these are pure Irish bullies.
Well, I did get a lot of stick last year, all right.
Yeah. So actually, that brings on quite nicely to the next question. So, what's your opinion on half chats?
Well, I don't see why you mix them.
Yeah.
They're neither one thing nor the other.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't know where you're going with them, really. Like, it's okay if a fella's putting a goldfinch to it and he wants a bigger bird or something like that. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to know why lads do it, even, like, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I know
You
that.
know, I've seen Siberian bullies put to the border hens, and you've got big, lovely birds, like, whereas the Norwich is too difficult to breed, like,
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, I know that Owen Welsh had mentioned that you can actually tell with how they whistle if like, for example, a native has got some northern blood in it, or something like that. So I mean, I can see that doing half chats would be introducing mutations down, but it's kind of cheating, isn't it? And you know
well,
you shouldn't
the,
do it.
the thing about it is, I had my Irish bullies indoors last year, and
Yeah.
the Siberians next door singing, and I had goldfinch bully hybrids singing with uh, young goldfinches and young Irish bullfinches all in one aviary.
Yeah.
So they can pick up a song easy enough. Last year I was listening to this magpie, and it was beginning to really irritate me. And I have shade cloth on the door of the aviary because some of the bullies banged off it and they were spinning around the ground. I thought, oh, his neck is broken.
Yeah.
So I had to put shade cloth up there very quick. And because they're very friendly and they will come out of their aviaries after you, looking for what you've got for them. But I could hear this magpie going, I said, he knows I'm in here, I don't want him attacking me birds. So I was going back on my knees, crouching down one day, and it came in loud and clear in this ear.
All
And it was
right.
one of my bullfinches that was imitating the magpies.
Wow.
One of my Siberian bulls. So I got rid of him.
Yeah.
He couldn't stay in my ear.
No, he'd be called into rest at magpies, wouldn't he? Attracting more of them.
Yeah.
I've seen I have seen videos of bullfinches, sort of imitating even like parts of a song, which is it's amazing the capability that they have for singing and actually learning that. So, I mean, it'd be like almost training a parrot, wouldn't it? They look well if they begin to learn to speak. Yeah. Right, well, John, that takes us to the end of our questions. So is there anything else you'd like to mention?
No, thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
it's been a
really,
pleasure, and thank you for sharing so many tips, advice, and all your experience with us. So that's
well,
great,
it's
mate.
so
Thank
hard.
you.
It's so hard when I was at the World Show 5 years ago to get anything in English that's written about Siberian bullfinches.
Yeah,
So, and there's a lot more people starting to keep them now as pets.
yeah,
So I think if you share a little out, it helps everybody.
definitely. Well, mate, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully part two at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Oliver.
Yes, no
All the best.
worries. Thank
All
you.
the best. And I hope it's been some help to some people.
I'm sure it will have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So now that John has talked to us about so many different tips he's got and different information on his Siberian and his Irish bullfinches, let's go and take a look at those birds inside John's bird room.
Welcome to my bird room. This is 10 aviaries, 5 each side, and one pair of bullfinches in each aviary. As you can see, I have oyster shell on the floor with a bit of charcoal in it. Only one perch, and then you can control where all the droppings are. 2 spare aviaries, the young, pair of brown pastels here, kind of set today, this morning, with 6 eggs. Another hen set in there with 5 eggs. Next door we have a yellow-brown pastel hen in the nest and a yellow cock. Next door we have Irish pair of bullfinches. She's got a lot of white in the wings and chicks in the nest, 6 chicks. And on the floor I use these trays to keep a lot of the pea shells and the floor a bit tidier than normal. It collects a lot of the shells which go off very badly. Starting to get warm today, so you might be able to see the chicks in the nest. They're all hatched out on the 13th, ready for ringing tomorrow. Another pair of Irish bullfinches in there and 4 eggs. Another pair in here doing nothing. Now this is the thing fellas giving out about the birds doing nothing. Well, there's another pair of pastel bullfinches, and you could say they're doing nothing, but they'll get ready in time. Gradually is much better and you get a lot fuller eggs. Birds won't lay eggs when you want them to lay eggs. They lay eggs when they're ready, not before they're ready. So thank you very much. This might be of some help to some people. Another bird room. A hen down on 6 eggs. Another hen down on 6 eggs. Another hen down on 5 eggs. Only 3 good. She was fighting with the cock, so I took the cock out. Lost the nest there. 3 brown pastels doing well. 1 didn't make it in that nest. Brown pastel with cinnamon hen. Another hen there. Had to lock him up in the cage on the bottom of the aviary. An egg this morning. And down to here. Chicks in this nest. Ready to be rung. That is a hen split for white and pastel, and a cock. That's it, come down on the perch. Split for white and pastel. Now I thought there was 1 pastel in that nest, and they're white originally, but it is actually a pastel. Because it's recessive, you might only get 1 in every 12 birds, the colour you're looking for. These are the trays I use on the bottom of my aviaries for breeding the bullfinches. This one here was in an aviary yesterday, and with those little peas in one of these dishes, you can see how all the shells are, a lot of them are dumped, and it saves a lot of cleaning up on the bottom of the aviaries. 2 days before the young bullfinches come out of the nest, which is generally around 18, 19 days, I clean the bottom of the aviaries so they're not picking up any stale shells of the peas. This is one I'm disregarding because there's a few holes in it here and you could lose birds out of it, but you'll get them in any butcher shop and they save a lot of cleanliness. This is the food that I feed the bullfinches on all year long. There's 19 different seeds in that mix, a good quality mix, all through the winter. There's no cutting back on seeds or anything like that. A finger of apple once a week during the winter. Very important, I find. Apple cider vinegar in the water once a week to clean them out. This is a multivitamin and mineral, Quico. I also give them once a week, all year long. And you can pair them up in March. I have here what I feed them on when they have young. 2 or 3 days before the young hatch, I give them a mixture of peas and egg food. Now the egg food has 3 different seeds in it: hemp, niger and white perilla. When the peas are in these little trays, this is what I put on them: a lacto. It's a probiotic. There's minerals and vitamins in it. It keeps the birds right. You really won't breed bullfinches without a probiotic. It doesn't matter what anyone tells you. It stops them getting sick, and it's a fantastic product. I keep things very simple. You can put an egg in a microwave for 1 minute and mash it up, and after that introduce your CD egg food, which is what I forgot to put on the table, and then you just put a little bit of lacto in it. Now the lacto is a very, very fine powder, the probiotic, and it's got minerals and vitamins in it as well. And if you do it from a height like that, that's all you have to do on the peas. And that's the magic secret in making sure your bullfinches stay alive. Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed that video and you found some useful tips. I sure did, especially with the raspberry juice. I've already got some and we've got it in all the drinkers for the birds. I'm going to see if it has any effect in these last few weeks of the breeding season. Let's hope it works. Now, as for everything else, the Siberian bullfinches John keeps are obviously brilliant, and also the Irish native bullfinches. I mean, topaz bullfinches in native form. It is amazing, and everything else that John's got. So massive well done to John anyway. Huge thank you to John for coming on the Zoom room and sharing everything with us. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to Avian World Dublin as well for sponsoring the Natives in Norwich group and these videos. So thank you very much, Avian World Dublin. So anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, you'd like to see more episodes of the Zoom room and maybe my own videos, then please smash the like button, hit subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next one.